for the evening, who is Rob Snow, with a speech entitled An Ordinary Life. Rob Snow!
Isn't it funny that we often look at other people's lives and we think, I wish my life was as glamorous and exciting as yours. And we look at our own lives and sometimes they can be very ordinary and very boring. But one thing I've discovered is that those people probably look at your life and think exactly the same thing. So I'm just going to stand up here and tell you about my ordinary life, and hopefully you'll all be awake by the end of it, especially the evaluators. Well, I was born on May the 30th. Doesn't sound a very exciting date. It was actually on my mother's birthday. My mother spent her birthday 25 years ago, 35, 37, 38 next year, so that's how I'm going. But she spent her birthday in the hospital giving birth to yours truly. Now, I can't actually think of anything better to do on my birthday. My mother has a very different story to that. Anyway, shortly after my birth, my mother and father decided to separate. Now, the closeness of those two events have actually nothing to do with it. I'm taking no responsibility for that. But after that, it left my mother the difficult role of finding a reliable, responsible, sensible and secure father figure to help raise me and my brother. So she chose a magician and a stage hypnotist called Peter. But I learned a lot from Peter. Look into my eyes, I'll go around my eyes, into my eyes. In a couple of seconds you're all going to do the most amazing evaluations you've ever done. 3, 2, 1, back in the room. But yes, Peter, he was a fantastic role model, And growing up with your dad as a magician, I mean, birthday parties were fantastic. You couldn't have the best childhood birthday parties when your dad's a magician. All the children in the class wanted to come to my birthday. At first I thought it was because I was popular, and I lived under this illusion for a number of years until I actually found that it was my father's magic tricks, and that they all wanted to see my dad put my mum's head in a box, put swords through it and make her head disappear. She is alive and well today, I can assure you of that. She does have a slight problem with fluids. She's learning to live with that. But I learned my first success principle from my stepdad Peter. He had a routine whenever he went to do his magic shows. He would disappear upstairs to rehearse. When I say disappear, I don't mean in a literal sense. He was good, but not that good. But he would disappear upstairs to rehearse, and then he would come back downstairs after he packed the car, say goodbye to us kids, and give my mum a kiss goodbye. And it was the same routine every time. My mother would say, "Good luck, Peter," and he would say, "Luck. It's not luck, it's skill." My mum would say, "Oh, you're such a big head." And us being kids, we'd go, yeah, big head there. And we would agree with her. But as we grew up, he explained to me, he said, "It's not luck, it is skill." He said, "If every time I put swords through your mum's head and made her head disappear, it was based on luck." He said, "I'd be doing time by now." He said, "I'd practice daily, in and out, hour after hour after hour, perfecting that art, perfecting the tricks, the presentation of the whole thing." He said, "When you work that hard to be that good at something," he said, "that's not luck, that's a skill." Now, I had an older brother as well, and he was also very giving, and he taught me a few lessons as well, and he taught me the art of self-defence. And it wasn't in your usual sense. Older brothers are very giving like that, you know, they're very, very generous. And he actually created this game, if you want to call it, to help us with self-defence. And it was called sleeping bag boxing. And this, I'm convinced, is going to be a famous Toastmaster story before I'm finished. He created this sleeping bag boxing, and the idea of the game is one of us would have a blue sleeping bag, one would have a red, and we'd put it on upside down. So we were standing up with the open end at the bottom, and then we would proceed to box. Now, if you can try and picture this, the obviously punching range was very limited because you had a sleeping bag, and the other obstacles you couldn't see each other. So you would have to wander around the bedroom until you actually made contact, and then you could start fighting. Ladies and gentlemen, I never won one single game of that in my life. I got beaten to to bits. I just took every punch you could name. And I grew up for years never understanding how my brother's punches were so accurate and very, very painful. Until last Christmas, the Christmas just gone. Never tell your kids your secrets. There we were at the family party, and my brother's son, who's now 16, come up to us and said, he said, "Uncle Rob," he said, "did you and my dad used to play sleeping bag boxing?" I said, "Yes, we did." He said, "Did you know that when you put your sleeping bag on, my brother used to take his off?" I said, "No, I didn't know that," funny enough. There was me wandering around in this sleeping bag, and he was like following me. But as a younger brother, straight away you just straight away take it out of your youngest. It was my youngest sister, Pooh. It wasn't a real name. That was we nicknamed her that, bless her. As the days of pre-air conditioned cars, we used to go out on day trips, and she'd have this big brown fur coat with a big brown hood, and she used to sit in the back eating chocolate. By the end of the journey, from the hot summer, she'd be covered in chocolate, so we nicknamed her Pooh. Bless her. Poor girl. She's not too badly mentally scarred, I don't think, but anyway, she's grown up. She's got a very similar name for me and my brother. She calls us a right little pair, but she's never really forgiven us.